still pretty new to diving. We learned how to dive in Australia. And so, every time we go on vacation now, we look for an opportunity to go diving. When we were in Key West, we thought that we absolutely had to go diving there.
The thing you have to understand about Key West is that everybody wants to live there. And because of that, there are people working on the streets doing whatever they can to make ends meet. It seemed like there was an information booth on every corner, and there was someone there trying to hand you a business card or a brochure to the company that would give them the best commission. So, of course, we were directed to the most popular place called Captain's Corner, which turned out to be nothing more than a gazebo with someone in a cell phone inside taking reservations for a boat that was parked out in the harbor.
Sea Eagle was really interesting. It wasn't your normal dive boat where you bring all the gear onto the boat and you go out. Sea Eagle was actually kinda like a factory diving boat. All the equipment was stored in the hull of the boat and you got everything fitted on the boat itself.
I guess the best selling point was that it was in the James Bond movie License to Kill. So our first dive was at Sand Key.
The weather before that dive was absolutely crazy.
The captain wouldn't let us off the boat until he had gotten an official weather report.
So we're all, sitting with our gear ready to go, and we waited and waited. Finally, the captain was like, okay, you can go.
We went ahead and got in the water, and this was the first dive where we were trying out our new underwater camera.
And the visibility was quite bad. We had a really tough time following each other or figuring out how to use the new camera, who should be leading, who should be following.
Because we stayed a little deeper than everyone else, our air ran out a little quicker.
We never found the shallows, which was just pathetic, but that happened. So it was a pretty disappointing first dive.
That first dive was only about 35 minutes, but when we surfaced, the weather had cleared and the seas had calmed, so it looked like our second dive would be better. Once we got back in the boat, they took us to a new site called Rock Key, and we tanked up again and got back in, this time after Oksana and I had discussed how we would manage the camera. The person with the camera would no longer be leading because it was too hard to focus on the subjects and keep track of the dive buddy. So instead, we'd have the leader out in front and the person with the camera behind. And that worked out great because now we could put the leader in the shots with the fish. This dive was much better. We saw a lot of different types of coral that we got to swim through. There was plenty of bottom time for me to just kind of stop, play around with the camera, and practice playing with the video a little bit.
We got to see a couple different varieties of coral. We saw fan coral, we saw a whole forest of staghorn coral, and we also saw brain coral. The fan coral is absolutely incredible. It grows in this huge leaf-like, almost like banana leaf. They end up growing in the way of the current, so every time the current moves, it gives an impression that the coral is actually swinging in the wind. It looks like it's alive, and it's just really incredible. Personally, I'm not a big fan of really deep diving. I like to stay in the shallows. However, sometimes you get in and there's just this wall of blue in front of you and you can't quite judge distance or anything like that, and things look a little bit murky. On this particular dive, we came across a big, huge fish. Out of the blue, out of nowhere, showed up this silver-looking, huge fish. I had no idea what it was, so it scared daylight out of me.
We asked afterwards and it turned out that they were tarpon, which I'd never seen before. But they never let us get too close. Even when we approached them, they just kind of casually swam away.
But it was really amazing.
This second dive at Rock Key was much better for us. We were in shallower water, about 22 feet was the deepest we went, and we stayed under for 50 minutes and got out with still air in our tanks.